Hello, I'm Jennifer Justus, food culture reporter at the Tennessean, and today we're shooting our first segment in a series called Nashville Cooks. We're at the home of John Egerton, the food writer and historian and author of Southern Food, and he's going to show us how to prepare a meal that's easy, inexpensive, and healthful.
In an hour's time, or just a little more than an hour, you could imagine coming home from work, start from scratch and have that meal ready to eat in an hour. We're going to have Hoppin' John, which is rice and black-eyed peas, traditional South Carolina low country dish. A lot of African origins in that. We're having stewed tomatoes, which I think is an invention of poor people in the 30s. Kind of a depression dish. Tomatoes were cheap and it didn't take much to season them. We're having slaw, a cabbage slaw, real simple, and we're having cornbread. And that's our meal. First thing I did yesterday, I took a cup of black-eyed peas, dried peas, put them in a bowl and cover them with water. That's all you do. They soak overnight. The hard peas become soft. I go to the freezer and I pull out that nice piece of ham hock that you see right there. It's cooked down to that, and it's got meat on it. Meat that you couldn't cut off with a knife, but when you put it in this pot, it turns into a very tasty. It adds great flavor to the pot. So I poured that soak water off this morning and put fresh water in, threw the ham hock in there, put it on here about medium, and kind of watched it, because at first it'll boil up and it might run over if you're not careful. But you let it cook for a minute or two and it'll kind of settle down. Then you can put it on simmer and throw a pot or two of dried red pepper in there. And I put a little salt in it, maybe a little too much. I'm thinking it's a little too salty. That's my black-eyed peas. I could have put an onion in there and I forgot to put the onion in. The rice went on. You can put the rice on just about any time you want to. Real simple directions on the bag. It's 2 cups of water, a little salt, maybe a little butter, 1 cup of rice. You throw it in the pot, put the top on there. It starts to boil. Again, it's boiling water, and you throw the rice in, it stops boiling. As soon as it starts boiling again, turn it down to low and set your timer for 20 minutes. You never look in the pot. You just, 20 minutes, you turn it off and you leave it sitting there, and all the water will be absorbed. Oh, in the slaw, we took a regular head of cabbage. Jennifer cut the head up, chopped it up into a bowl, and I gave her 5 ingredients to season it as she wished. A little olive oil, a little lemon juice, black pepper, salt, sugar, and vinegar. There's six things. It was up to her to choose, and she put in what she wanted, and she got us a real good slaw. The ratio of cornmeal to water is an unknown. I've never been able to figure that out. So basically what I do is I take about 2 scoops of this, or maybe a little more. That's probably a half a cup. So let's say I do 2 of those, and since we got 4 hungry eaters, I'm going to put another little bit. That's a generous cup to close to 1.5 cups, okay? I'm going to put a teaspoon of sugar, of salt, sorry. A good dollop of bacon grease. This is simplicity personified right here. Take the spoon, and I cannot measure because it never is enough. I'm pouring water in here, and it'll look like way too much water. And it's not nearly enough. Because when I start stirring that cornmeal is just going to soak that water up, and it's going to still look dry on the bottom. What I'm looking for here is a texture of consistency that I can take the spoon and plop them down on here, just a big, and it'll hit there, it'll splat, and it'll make a little peak, just what you throw down. Because the thicker they are, the mealier, the wetter they'll be inside, no matter how long you cook them. The thinner they are, the crustier they'll be. And every time you do it, since you're not measuring, you get a slightly different a combination of water and meal. So that's starting to look just about like I want it to look. If I pick it up and throw it down right there, it leaves a little peak. So I'm done. I take this, it moves around easily. You don't have to grease the pan. I could have put a little more water in there, but that's about what I'm looking for. These are going to cook at 425 for about 45 minutes. Time for me to try these. Not good.